question. So let me start with defining what sustainable growth actually means today. It's a little different, and the startup ecosystem has evolved a lot pre-COVID, just post-COVID, like 2021 and 2022 onwards. It's a different ballgame altogether. When they say funding winter, it's not just a word, it really is the situation out there. Now, be it VCs, be it angels, everyone purely is just not talking about growing users. They are primarily trying to understand, how are you growing revenue? What is your visibility or clarity around launching and building more and more revenue streams and scaling revenue of the company, not scaling users of the company? And that's how the ecosystem has purely evolved. And I'll just give you a comparison here, like in comparison to 2021, in the H1 of 2021 versus the H1 of 2023, which is like Jan to June, the fundings were reduced by about 75%. And that's a reflection across the industry. And it's needless to say, you know what from the last 6 months has been happening. Mass layoffs, massive pay cuts again, just because VCs are not interested. Valuations are cutting down by anything, be it Oyo, be it Swiggy. Everyone is facing the same dearth, the same pain, right? And because the ideology has to be different, the things have changed. And if I tell you, like at Univest, we have a simple thought process. I'm not sure whether it's purely for Univest and it's purely for every startup. So the things have changed a little bit. The mindset has to change. Like, let your monetization fund the growth, not the VC money. People cannot depend on the VC money for their growth. And acquiring users, retaining users, that either you are building something really out of the world like OpenAI, which led to a disruption. And you have such kind of backers like WhatsApp, and it was building and building and building, and right now it's generating money like anything. It's printing money like anything. People are spending millions. Even a good percentage, like 4 to 5% of our spends going to WhatsApp in a month. 4 to 5% of the complete company spends going to WhatsApp. Either building something like that, and you have backers like that, right? At Univest, our focus has been on monetization right from the beginning. After the initial traction that we launched, because without users, we just can't do monetization. But within the first 3 months when we launched, week on week, we were seeing growth across all primary metrics, like week on week, 20 to 25% growth on every metric, apart from CAC. CAC was going down. And that's what we were focusing, like industry-based engagement, industry-based retention, as we could understand from the benchmarks and the industry parallels. At that point, we did our first collaboration, as you mentioned earlier, with Mr. Prateek Gandhi from the Scam 1992 fame. But that, let me tell you, it worked out really well for us. It helped us scale like anything. But in parallel, we stopped focusing on user growth. We started focusing on revenue. We had already raised our second round, like unofficially. We'd already raised it. Money had started hitting our account. We not declared it yet at that time. But we were very clear. We know how to grow user base. We know how to keep them engaged. Now let's focus on revenue. Let's build revenue. Let's stabilize revenue. Right? We started with our first revenue stream called Univest Elite, which is purely a distribution of P2P lending products. Right? And it worked out in our favor. And since then, our acquisition strategy also changed. Let's focus. Let's not acquire users left, right, center and sell them this. Let's acquire users with this mindset and also keep them engaged. And as I was mentioning earlier, to our discovery, like more than 90% of the lending P2P lending investors are stock market investors. And it was a surprise for us as well, right? And for today's domain, like what Univest is trying to do, it's trying to become a distributor of financial products, which even you may say from the likes of Cred, ET Money, MobiKwik, everyone's doing the same. But one thing that I'm not sure, I'll not say that others are failing or others are facing the pain is of very high CACs, LTVs, and the problem of retaining customers. That's where we are trying to do something different. We are trying to build a data-backed, engagement-led distribution of financial products. Like right now at Univest, average, I'm not saying just for the power users, my power users doing more than like 50 to 60 sessions a month, but often do an average, absolute average, it's more than 10 sessions per user per month. And that's where the real power lies. We don't have to call our customers, onboard more customers to sell something. We are actually selling them what we already have. Whatever we build, we can sell them. That's how we differentiate from other financial products.